everybody, Fat Shirt again. Welcome back to the Star Wars Expanded Universe. Now redubbed by Disney, or current Lucasfilm, however you want to do it. Legends. Today for you, I have a book for you, a book review for you, entitled I, Jedi. I have a feeling people are not going to like my overall thoughts. I do not have Matt Wilkins' take, and I did watch that review before watching this, and I made sure not to let that, impact me. In fact, in his review, he even said, go ahead, you should read it, because I'm in the minority on this. And that's what I've heard from, every other reviewer, read reviews about it. Everyone loves this book. I thought it was okay. I don't think it's one of Stackpole's best. And I don't even think it's better than Isgard's Revenge. It's the Rogue Squadron, the first 4 books, with the books focusing on Rogue Squadron. Fantastic. Love them. Then it's Isgard's Revenge. And then this one. I just did not feel it. And there were some things that bugged me, similar to him. But I tried to look at it as objectively as possible. And I understand that it makes sense in the course of the plot. But there's just some stuff I didn't appreciate. So maybe I'm not unbiased. I tried to be. I really did. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was okay. It was there. So, non-spoiler. Everyone's giving me dislikes now. Non-spoiler. Cornhorn. It just starts off with his wife getting kidnapped, Myrax, who, by the way, remember, I shipped them. I adore them together. But yeah, she's captured, and he wants to get her. And remember, earlier on in the Rogue Squadron series, he learned that he was Force sensitive. He has the midichlorians in him, that he could use the Force. And so he thinks the best way to capture her is to go to Luke's Jedi Academy. Once he learns about it, because it kind of starts off right before the first Jedi Academy book starts, where he says, I'm gonna go start Jedi Academy. Are you guys okay with this? That's right before he went up to the council and did that. Luke, I mean. And then, he's there for all the events of Jedi Academy. Under a different name to retcon a character from the last one, from the Jedi Academy, so that way we can put Cornhorn in here, which is fine. It was in first person. I've never had a problem with first person. If I remember correctly, Percy Jackson is in first person, and I've never had a problem with Percy Jackson. I love Percy Jackson. If you don't know what Percy Jackson is, it has to do with demigods being half god, because in this universe, well, if we're counting all of Rick Riordan's books, then Egyptian gods exist, Roman gods exist, Greek gods exist, Norse gods exist. They all exist, apparently. Except for the only true one, which is Jesus. I also probably get a bunch of dislikes for that one. But yeah. So I can't say more without getting into spoilers. After that, we go on a rescue for his wife, because it doesn't work out at the academy, or at least he doesn't feel like it's working out. So he goes and leaves. Goes to find his wife. Luke ends up helping him, and spoiler alert, I guess, happy ending. I mean, did you really expect a bad one? I mean, I know that the Rogue Squadron books had some death, but they're not going to kill off Cornhorn. They're not going to kill off his wife. So, And they're certainly not going to kill off Luke. So, that's non-spoiler. Again, I may have thought this book was okay. You may think this book is fantastic. And if you do, that's great. More power to you. I thought it was okay. It was not one of my favorites. It's just me, though. On to the spoilers. So, of course, I already mentioned Luke invites Korn to the Academy from the trilogy of the Jedi Academy trilogy. And I already mentioned he goes under a different name so that that retcon can take place. And then for a good portion of the book, it's literally just Jedi Academy from his perspective. So everything I talked about in those books, it happens here. I mean, we get to see some other things. We have Kip Durn when he's, finally being possessed by Exar Kun. He gets mad at Horn and throws him or whatever. Something earlier happened with Gantoris, if I remember correctly. Exar Kun even tries to tempt him, but it didn't. But doesn't work. It doesn't work out. Now, I know people have come up with. I mean, and to be fair, it's established character. The reasons why he's able to resist it, and I can accept that. It's just I don't know, because Luke just went through succumbing to the dark side, and he'd already faced Vader and the Emperor, and had the events of the courtship of Princess Leia, and had the events of Thrawn with Master Sabaoth, and everything, and he still managed to fight it off. But then finally, when the Emperor comes back, originally his intention was to trick the Emperor, but he gave in, because the dark side's really powerful, and he went with the intention of being like a double crosser, and ended up being a trice cross or whatever you call it, because he ended up falling for a little bit. And someone like Luke, who has all that experience and stuff, to fall to the dark side must show how powerful it is. And he wasn't being possessed by Emperor Palpatine. He was just being persuaded. And people, really crap on Kip Durn, and I'm going to get to that in this book because I didn't mention it in the last one, which I kind of regretted, but I had other things in my mind. If you couldn't tell, I was not in the best of moods when I did that review. But I understand why he would resist the temptation, because, it didn't appeal. It wasn't, the offer wasn't something he could give into, I guess, or whatever. He's been in Rogue Squadron, and he's had his own experiences, I know. But when you're dealing with something so spiritual, to be able to just, I'm good, it's a little annoying. And of course, later on, he has to fight with Luke, which, again, if I'm remembering correctly, it happened just after he got his body back, so maybe he's weak or whatever, or he's not trying his hardest. But still, to beat your teacher, especially someone like Luke, the son of the Chosen One, it's a little annoying. There is a scene where Mara and Horn have a conversation, and I genuinely enjoyed that entire scene. That entire scene was gold. It felt like Mara, despite the fact that this author is not Timothy Zahn. It didn't not feel like Mara in the Jedi Academy trilogy. It just felt like she was kind of there, Yeah, it's not that she didn't feel like herself, but she didn't necessarily, really feel like her either. Just felt like Mara Jade is here. Cameo appearance. But here, I don't know. It felt more like her because she, dwove into her feelings and got to talk about that and stuff. And I just really enjoyed their interaction. But yeah, so the events of Jedi Academy happen and zoom off. The Cornhorn's like, screw this noise. I can't be a Jedi. It's not for me. That's not what I'm supposed to do. I thought it was, but I was wrong. So he goes off to find his wife his own way by, sneaking his way into an organization and working his way up or whatever to go find his wife, spy stuff and whatever, espionage, police sort of stuff that they do sometimes where they go undercover. And sometimes he does a lot of stuff that, that could be leading to the dark side. Because it's his pride and arrogance that, the spirit of Exar Kun couldn't tempt him, but he himself is letting, everyday normal sins, normal temptations get the best of him. For instance, there's this woman who ends up, she's all for the Corn Horn, and she has other motives behind that, but he, what guy wouldn't? When you have an attractive woman, finds you attractive, maybe you don't plan on doing anything, but you usually feel happy about that, right? You feel prideful. Like, yeah, someone like her finds me attractive, So he does stuff like that, and of course, he considers it, which he shouldn't have even considered it, but I wrote a note that sleeping with someone who isn't your wife is wrong, period. If you're married, of course. And a little bit later on, Cornhorn's like, he has a realization because he had a vision of his grandfather's face being on him. Think of Avatar: The Last Airbender when Zuko woke up that one time and his face was Aang's. But he thought the vision was telling him, your father or your grandfather was a Jedi, but you're not meant to be. But that wasn't it. That wasn't it at all. But he realizes, selflessness is the only cure to evil. And I really like that quote. He finally does saves Myrax, and they kiss, and every single time it's talking about them, it was sweet and great, and you even have a moment where Luke laughs, because Luke comes to help, and he's like, I like her. But yeah, I love them so much, so every time they get to, be together and talk, is really good. I love everything about them. I think they're one of the best couples in the Star Wars period. Number one being Leia and Han, of course. I haven't seen Mara, Jade, and Luke be together yet, so I can't speak for that, but I'd imagine it'd be my number third or second place, because Cornhorn and Myrax are number 2 right now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I have nothing else really to talk about. So, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I'm sorry that I do not love this book like so many others. I don't hate it like Matt Wilkins does, but it's certainly not my favorite of the books I've read so far. Up next, we have an interesting change of pace. We have Mysteries of the Force, or Mysteries of the Sith, my bad, with Mara Jade, and it's a video game, I know. Now, supposedly, I don't exactly know the timeline of video games. I kind of planned it out myself pretty well, but apparently, Mysteries of the Sith may have happened before Jedi Academy. I don't know. If it did, then we'll just consider the whole thing a flashback, because I've been trying to do this in chronological order. Then after that, I believe we have Children of the Force. Then we're going to take a little break from books, and we're going to have a review for Jedi Outcast with Kyle Katarn, and then Jedi Academy with Kyle Katarn's student or whatever. And then after that, we'll get back to the books. But that's going to be a little detour that we do. So, yeah. Last time we saw Kyle Katarn, last time we even reviewed a video game was before the Thrawn trilogy, before Courtship of Princess Leia, I think. So, or maybe it was after. I don't remember. It might have been before. But it's been a while since we've met up with Kyle Katarn, so it'll be interesting to see what that has in store. But anyway, as always, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.